go live right now. Matter of fact, even Whole Foods this morning, bruh. But hopefully I can save this video. But I'm back on my shit. Well, even if this video don't save, fuck it, I'ma gear up and make another one about the same shit if it don't save up. But talking about the north and the south nodes dealing with your natal charts. A lot of y'all new to this information because I'm speaking from this Instagram platform. So a lot of y'all, you know, the YouTube people know for sure, you know, but some people on Instagram just follow me due to just knowing me as Carl Ray and not like, you know, getting into the information. So some of y'all won't know what I'm talking about possibly, but it's there for you to research and get upon. But the natal chart aspect is basically mapping out, you know, from the astrology aspect of mapping out like your birth chart from when you was born, you know. But you have a north node and a south node. Now the north node and the south node has to do with the moon, you know. It's the north node of the moon. Basically almost like, in so many words, like the North Pole and the South Pole, but not really, you know what I'm saying? Let's not go there, but, and also the moon connection. You know, I done did videos in the past, and I'm pretty sure you done came across the information of like the Saturn-Moon matrix and how the Saturn and the moon works together to keep us in this matrix, you know? And like the moon deals with our emotions, you know, because that's why our heart shouldn't weigh heavier than a feather, and why the moon is connected to emotions. It's connected to water, you know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, and be connected to primordial waters, you know what I'm saying? The triple darkness, or the three trimesters of a pregnancy, you know what I'm saying? But that moon energy, you know, connected. Matter of fact, also connected with Saturn. Go check out my video on YouTube where I got how Saturn transit. It takes 28 to 30 days for Saturn to transit throughout all the zodiac signs in our chart, you know. And it's no coincidence that the moon takes like 28 to 30 days to transit through these zodiac signs. So you see this correlation with the moon and Saturn on a 28 to 30, you know, whether it's days or years as far as the cycle, you know, related to the 28-30 number. But reason why I have to do this video, I had to, like, I'm like, bro, again, whether it's saved or not right now, I gotta do this. But because it's showing up to be very strong in my situation, what's going on right now. But like, got your north node and your south node. Now, reincarnating, you know, we reincarnate again. The zodiac signs are basically like, say for instance, each zodiac sign deals with certain elements. The elements is like what type of vibe, like what type of perspective you're going to deal with this realm. And are you going to deal with this realm with a more fiery perspective or aspect? Are you coming down with a little fire and water mix? All this, you know, that's the whole thing from us from the beginning of just incarnating in this physical realm, is finding different ways to, you know, come down here and experience it, you know. But not go too deep off into that. But again, with the south node, north node, your south node is basically the energy that you're familiar with throughout all your past lives. It's your comfort zone, you know. So say for instance, I'm a north node Aries, south node Libra. That's another thing too. Whatever your north, once you find out your north node or your south node, the other node will be opposite of it. So like Aries, if you got an Aries north or south node, then you're gonna have a Libra south node in correlation with Aries. You know, Pisces, you're gonna have a Virgo, and vice versa. I can't recall all of them as I'm, you know, vibing, but you know, but they all, you know, had that correlation. So if you find out one, you know the other, you know, basically. And matter of fact, as I'm talking, I'm about to go sit down on the bench and pull out the tablets too. So we're gonna kind of get a little more into it. But again, the south node for me is that Libra energy, that codependent, depending on the relationship, that I gotta balance everything out and make sure everything is kind of perfectly balanced before I do something, you know what I'm saying? That's my south node, which is telling me, hey, you know, this is your comfort zone. Like all through your past lives, you always like played it safe and, you know, codependent on other people, and you know, you put other people's feelings before yours, you know. And you know, like with the Aries, you know, the Aries north node is telling me to in this lifetime to stop dealing with that Libra energy and to be more head first, you know. And now I realize, again, that's why, I needed to know that information, because, I'm dealing with situations where brethren and sistren who I consider, and I always spoke on that, like, close fam, presenting things to me that were felt like it was pulling me further away from what I truly want and love to some extent, you know what I'm saying? But what it was, is, again, we triggering each other right now too, because Pluto deals with deep transformation and change. That's in retrograde, so we're going to be reflecting on deep transformation and change within the area of Capricorn, because Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, and Saturn is retrograding in Capricorn, which is his home. So we're dealing with discipline and responsibility on the aspect of the Capricorn energy. Dealing with that karma energy. So right now too, a lot of us are triggering each other. Again, somebody who never tried to cross you, or never, might be doing or saying things that might be making you feel some kind of way because it's some old karmic issues that need to play out. Like, it's some situations like, like, I feel like I never fuss with that person, or I never, Now, if it's not meant, yeah, you won't fuss with that person or whatever, but, if they got like any slight of little deep energy is what y'all do disagree, and y'all constantly try to just play it like, oh yeah, bro, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, nah, that shit gonna get pulled out to, to show both parties in that, to stop people pleasing or whatever, or that y'all have something deeper, but all these things are coming up. Excuse me, right quick, let me add some more light to the screen. I hope. Hey, and blessings, y'all. See y'all in here. Bless. But again, that north node, south node vibe, So it's important to, find out what your north and south node is. Because your north node tells you all the things that are uncomfortable to you. Because again, in my past lives, if all my past lives was spent like being comfortable with putting other people before me, then it makes me, it would be uncomfortable to me to put myself first, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the universe is asking me in this lifetime. It's like, my higher self, me, my soul, is working on in this lifetime, is working on that aspect of being more about, about myself and what I really want to do and deal with. But again, it's very important to check out that north and south node in your natal charts. And I'm speaking, matter of fact, right now I'm speaking from a Western astrology standpoint. You got Sidereal/Vedic, which deals with astrology and astronomy together, which means instead of 30 degrees in each sign, they actually look at the sky and be like, oh, all right, say for the Virgo constellation is bigger than most. So it's going to take all planets a longer time to transit through, Virgo. For example, within the sidereal, because it's bigger than the, its constellation stretched out bigger than the other ones, But again, that south and north node is very important to, and more so too, because again, that is dealing directly with our past lives. Like, basically, south node, north node lets you know, like your south node lets you know, hey, this is the energy I've been incarnating in, throughout all my past lives. I've been dealing with this energy, and the north node is telling you the energy that you haven't been dealing with, and for the most part that you've been kind of running away from, So it's like that Aries energy, I gotta be head first. I gotta value my ideas first and foremost. That's why I've been presented with situations where other people been like, hey, this is a good idea. You should do this with your business. You should do this, or you should, come along with us on this little vibe with business. And it's like, and it's not those people doing it purposely. It's just me being triggered, to snap into it. Like, bruh, say no. Like, remember that you came down here to do your own shit. Of course, I'm gonna work with people and, and network and do these things, but it's all gonna be through me building my business through my ideas and my energy. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost. But let me, I don't tell me I left the tablet. Let's see, I'm about to grab the tablet shortly. But yeah, that's the whole vibe, you know, just paying attention to that north node, south node vibe. It's very key because it's telling you, you know, what energies you're moving away from. You know, like say for instance, if you're say for instance, vice versa, if you have an Aries south node, in your past lives you've been being too head first, you know, and too about yourself, you know, and in this lifetime right here, you know, moving forward in order for you, because again we transmuting karmic energy, you know, and so the north node south node is transmuting, you know, karmic energy from multiple lives, you know, so it's a strong, you know, transmutation, you know. Again, your south node is the energy you've been dealing with, not, again, multiple lifetimes, you know what I'm saying? This shit is instilled with you. That's why I feel so comfortable for us to kind of just fall into the dealing with our south node energy, you know? And again, to anybody new, you could go look up a, you know, a natal chart calculator, you know, it'll help you to find that. A natal chart calculator, but I'm about to grab this tablet. But yeah, natal chart calculator. Matter of fact, shout out to Dolo the pilot, man, for bringing that tremendous amount of information in that area. You know, some insightful, not just book shit. You know, I think that's why I resonate with the brethren, because I do the same thing. You know, I don't. You know, when it comes to crystals, everything ain't in Judy Hall books and Robert Simmons books and what I talk about with crystals, you know. Fuck, we here to write books just as much as the people who already wrote them, you know. But let's check out this little vibe right quick. But yeah, again, that north node, south node energy is very key to deal with. Hey, I got like a little sample right here. Like just a little, like just showing the, you know, because matter of fact, the south node I think is like also like this part of the moon that's considered the shaded side, and then the other side is the, you know, the north node. But again, in the different types of you know, correlations, you got, you know, Libra to Aries, and matter of fact, that's cardinal to cardinal. So, you know, Aries right here, and it will go to the sign that's right under this one, but I got it on this side, so it's, you know, so it's this and this, which is Libra, you know. Then if you Taurus, if you got a Taurus north or south node, then that's gonna be correlated with Scorpio, you know. So, you know, say for instance you got a Scorpio south node, you used to being so deep into that Pluton or Mars energy, you know, like very lusty, sexual, and also into deep occult, you know, subconscious waters, you know what I'm saying, like going into those deep realms, you know, and more so from a, not say a loner perspective, but, you know, kind of being to yourself in the vibe with it, and you know, that could be, again, Scorpio south node, and then your north node is Taurus, obviously, you know, if it's you know, if your south node is Scorpio, then it's automatically going to be Taurus. And if it was Taurus, if your south node is Taurus, then your north node automatically be Scorpio. So that's how it rolls. So your Taurus energy, you know, so basically your north node energy, if it was Taurus, is telling you, hey, to be more earthy, more grounded, to not be so abysmal and be into that deep Scorpio energy, like that Plutonic Mars energy, and step into more of a Venus realm, a more loving appreciation for the material realm, appreciation for connection with others, you know, instead of being in that deep subconscious by yourself. You know, it's like, you know, in this lifetime you need to focus more on the Taurian energy. You know, you got also you got the Sag Gemini north and south node vibe, you know what I'm saying? One you know, deals with expansion and you know, kind of like expanding, but without that boundary energy, you know, like Sagittarius is like that Jupiter, like expand, learn, whatever it is to help learn and grow and expand, you know what I'm saying? But the Gemini energy has a little more tactfulness to that vibe, you know what I'm saying? Because it deals with the Mercury energy, so it does deal with, you know, communication like Sagittarius. That's what I'm thinking about. Sagittarius with that teaching vibe and that, you know, that air Gemini teaching vibe. But you know, like the Sag, like traveling all over the place and things of this nature, where the Gemini energy is asking for you to be more tactful at the way you deal with yourself. You know, so there's multiple different vibes as far as with the North Node, South Node, but I feel like it's very important to tap into that information, especially right now, again, because we're dealing with these different vibes. And remembering that each sign, you know, you got the mutable signs, fixed signs, and the cardinal signs. This is just all different aspects of power, you know. As a matter of fact, like say for instance, elements, you know, what energy substance you want to experience, you know, in essence, you know, like, do you want to experience fire? Do you want to experience water? You know, check out my video, the 12 movie specialists, you know, where I talk about like how, you know, again, like this matrix, like a movie, and the zodiac signs are like movie specialists that's preparing you for your role in this movie. And it's like, you know, I want more of a fiery role in this movie. I want more of a empathic and watery role in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I spend most of my other movies playing this role. I want to play this role in this new movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically, you know, the whole vibe. You know, learn from different perspectives, you know. Basically, polarizing energies, learning how to coexist. Because, say, for instance, if I first came into being as a water element, let's just say, you know, then the way the zodiac system is set up for, you know, energy coming from a water, you know, being of that water element to experience things from a fire perspective and experience things from, you know, and as these things experience things from different perspectives, it builds like a, you know, more of a solidity in the, you know, in the realm of things being cohesive, you know, like with an earthly plane having like places where it's desert, places where it's a lot of water, you know, like all these different vibes, you know, in one place, but it's due to, you know, those different elements, you know, moving through each other's perspectives in essence. And I know this kind of, you know, a little bit over some head in essence, but you'll get what I'm saying. And we also dealing with Taurus. We got a new moon in Taurus, you know, but also like the aspect of Uranus or Uranus being in Taurus, and basically it's going to be in Taurus for the next 7 years. And again, that's how these planets transit. Again, go check out my video speaking on how Saturn transits through, you know, it takes like 28 to 30 years for a transit fully throughout your chart, you know. But again, you see the mythical, you know, where you're born against the Western vibe. You know, Sidereal goes off of Sidereal. I kind of poke it in here just to show Ophiuchus would be in here, and it would have like a little slot for Ophiuchus, and each zodiac sign, you know, would have a different amount of degrees, because due to the astronomy factor, where they actually look in the sky, you know. But yeah, so we dealing with this Taurus and Uranus energy too. Uranus deal with, like, you know, surprises, eccentric. That Uranus energy is connected to that the Aquarius energy somewhat, so that eccentric, freedom-loving, originality, expression without restraint, individualisticness, you know. So all these energies of this Uranus vibe is going to be connected with this Venus and Taurus vibe. So you're going to have like electrical, sped up, spontaneous connection with the material realm, you know, with all your five senses and you know, connecting with like dealing with the five senses, being sensual, connecting with the earthly plane or material realm, you know what I'm saying, is going to have like somewhat of a unpredictable, again, Uranus energy connected to that Venus energy. So like what you're dealing with, socializing and sharing and dealing with values and expressing affection is going to be in connection with that Uranus energy. So it's going to be a little spasmodic and sudden, you know, sudden change and just, you know, has this excitement, breaking rules and traditions, So you're going to be breaking a lot of rules and traditions in that area of the Taurus energy. Might be certain things that you were into on a, on a five senses level that you may be stepping away from, making an extreme change on, what I'm saying, being a little more different about it. On a negative aspect of the Uranus energy, you could be impatient, restless, but also like dealing with purposeless change, like, oh, I'm just a rebel without a cause, just to be a rebel without a cause type of vibe, or being an extremist. So, be aware to, to not be like just no extremist or no purposeless rebel, vibe, be aware of that. And then 2 is also Taurus season, it's the sun is in Taurus right now, as well as the new moon, which I don't know if it's there just yet. Yeah, it's coming, Matter of fact, it'd probably be, I forgot which way it's going. It's either it's a sign over, so it'll be in Aries or Gemini right now, getting ready to move into Taurus. And that's from, again, the Western perspective. Sidereal astrology is probably, when you actually look in the sky, it may say something else, And that's the aspect. And I did a video not too long ago about that with the Ophiuchus vibe, where, like, sidereal and Western, neither one is necessarily right or wrong. They are what they are. One deals with astronomy with astrology, and one deals with astrology without astronomy. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people get more feeling because they have the extra added element of astronomy that should hold more accuracy. I'm not on the debate team with that vibe, you know what I'm saying? So I let other people fuss on whether it's duck season or rabbit season. Duck season, rabbit season, duck season, duck season, rabbit season. How Bugs Bunny used to hit that reversal on Daffy Duck. Y'all ain't old school, you don't get it. Are you Indian? There's no such thing as an Indian, sir. What is an Indian? Who made that word? Matter of fact, I always spit that word back out if I ever make a mistake and say the word Indian. What in the fuck is it? And I'm joking, star bar, but I just looked up and it's like, are you an Indian? Like, I'm an indigenous being. Indigenous beings have been all over this plane of existence, not just Africa, not just Turtle Island, aka the America continent, from South, basically, well, at least to Mexico to Canada, Turtle Island. But nah. But again, so speaking on this, went through the South Node, so make sure you're looking up the South Node, North Node energy. Blessings, we all everywhere forever, man. Gotta link up, man. I gotta send you my number, too. But again, so we dealing with this, this Pluto retrograde. Matter of fact, we dealing with this, this Saturn retrograde. Saturn energy deals with, boundaries, longevity, death is, Chronos, the Lord of Karma, Father Time, you know what I'm saying? Deals with justice, limits, authority, binding, discipline, and it's in the area of Capricorn, which deals with, being ambitious, reserved, hard work, and discipline, and tactful, you know what I'm saying? And also remembering too, like, again, the outer planet structure thing over time, So for instance, like from Mars to like Mars, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon, like those aspects change, very quickly. While like the outer planets, like from Jupiter on back, it takes a while. Like again, it takes Saturn 30 years to transit from the area where, like, so whenever you were brought into this realm, Saturn was in a certain place. And from that moment you were, quote unquote, born are brought into this realm, wherever Saturn is, it takes it 28 years, or 28, 30 years again, for it to fully transit back to that area it was when you were first, quote unquote, born or brought into this realm. That's why a lot of us experience strong change in our, maturity at the age like 28 and 30. We kind of start to, like bear down on what we want to do in life and things that's to do to that Saturn return. And again with Pluto takes about like 13 to 15 years to transit through each sign, and that's what the quote unquote oppressive energies that try to throw all these things on us, they're aware of that, because again, that's why a lot of us from a certain realm, we were born with Pluto and Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? So Pluto was at home technically, because Mars is, official Scorpio planet, but Pluto connected with that Scorpio energy too. But there's within the 13-year range, a lot of us were born with Scorpio in our, or should I say with Pluto in our Scorpio, so meaning deep transformation from an esoteric and occult, not only again Pluto diving deep, but then with that Scorpio energy as well, that intense focus, secretive, because again Scorpio has that secretive vibe, and again like with the South Node, North Node vibe too, you might have like the more secretive vibe in the past life with the South Node being in Scorpio. Let's just say your South Node Scorpio, you had more of a secretive vibe into yourself, and and then with North Node being Taurus, that's telling you like, hey, you need to be less secretive, that's your little comfort zone, being secretive and shit, expand, do something different. That's the whole aspect of our, experience, is doing something different. Think about how much of a waste of a time it would be to constantly do the same shit in multiple lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bruh, we don't like to call nothing a waste of life, but, it's like we're here to experience different, different aspects. Hence why we come down into these different zodiac signs. And I did a video about that too, about the number 108, incarnating, with the dealing with the Lyran beings and cats having 9 lives, and 9 times 12 equals 108, and 108 is the amount of mala bead, the amount of beads in the malas. And also in some civilizations, they feel like you incarnate 108 times. And I was like, hey, you get 9 lifetimes in each zodiac sign. You get 9 Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn lifetimes, and you get 9 lifetimes where your sun sign is Sagittarius. You get 9 lifetimes where your sun sign is Scorpio. You get 9 lifetimes, you know what I'm saying? And that 9 times 12 equals 108. You get that full of vibe going around, But yeah, this getting that North Node, South Node energy. But yeah, being disciplined in the area and another thing too, with retrogrades or things of this nature. Say for instance, with Saturn retrograding right now, yeah, Saturn is in Capricorn, but Saturn retrograding is also gonna have you reflecting on the energies of where Saturn is in your natal chart. You know what I'm saying? So if, say for instance, Saturn is, trying to think of something. Saturn is in Pisces in your chart, you know what I'm saying? Then right now with that Saturn retrograde is also telling you to kind of, reflect on the discipline in that Pisces energy. So with being dreamy and, and caring about others, and, what else, that Pisces energy, that sensitive, intuitive, imaginative, dreamy, escapist energy, you know what I'm saying? It's telling you to be more disciplined about that, you know what I'm saying? And it's Saturn retrograde right now. And also it's good too, I got an app that looks up the transits of planets and stuff like that. But once you start to realize all these different aspects of planets and the zodiac signs, you could read all this stuff for yourself, You could just go look at a little thing and see, all right, Venus in Aries. So, it's asking for heartfelt, sensual aspects to be reflected from a personal aspect, you know what I'm saying? Aries dealing with, headstrong, pioneering, being dynamic, spontaneous. Again, and for me with the North Node, South Node aspect, my North Node is Aries, telling me to be more spontaneous, more head first, like in order to break away from that energy, like again, if I'm still in this lifetime allowing for other people to influence, what I'm doing heavily and do all these things, and I'm not living my purpose. I'm still dealing with this old energy of this Libra energy, you know what I'm saying? Still letting external situation, not say external, but people dictate what's going on in my realm instead of me dictating it, you know what I'm saying? Because Libra deals with relationships, and to a certain extent codependency, But again, and right now the new moon in Taurus, new emotions towards material things and relationships, like reflecting on that energy, and also already putting the magic into the, I want to say new moon magic is how I talked about destructive magic and constructive magic, dealing with the different moon phases. But our emotions and connections with our five senses, what I'm saying, is what's going to be in reflection right now. Physical sensations, like the things that, and again, the five senses, no coincidence. When we talk about the phi ratio, we talk about like the Taurus field having like 5 points in it, and the golden mean ratio connected to phi, or 5. You know what I'm saying? You cut an apple in the middle, it got 5-pointed star in it, but that 5 is the physical, matter of fact, with the tarot cards, the pentacles, which is a 5-pointed star, is connected with the earthy energy. Earthy energies are connected with the five senses. We're more in this, this physical material realm. So this new moon in Taurus is kind of, dealing with that reflection in that area, But again, a lot of planets at home too. You got Saturn retrograding in Capricorn, so we're really being structured, again in that area of entrepreneur vibes, like that Capricorn just somewhat of that. It's not like an ego like the Aries energy in essence, but it does like that ego towards accomplishment, like being in this material world and accomplishing things. We're reflecting on the discipline of that right now, what I'm saying, again with that Saturn and Capricorn energy. And that's to say a few, because there's multiple layers of different energies that are being tapped into within these, the planet zodiac sign connections. But I'm just speaking from what what I know and feel. But Jupiter and Sagittarius, so that expansion, basically deals with luck, success, wisdom due to expanding, due to expanding the comfort zone, dealing with wealth and generosity, as well. And the Sagittarius energy, honest, freedom loving. So matter of fact, we're expanding again. Jupiter at home, so Jupiter expanding that philosophical energy, that good-humored energy, that Sagittarius, honest, don't really bite the tongue. That's why Azurite is a good crystal with the Sagittarius energy. Azurite too, because it has copper in it, and copper has that fire element, and Sagittarius is a fire sign. Matter of fact, but yeah, so Saturn in Cap, Jupiter in Sag right now, and Neptune in Pisces. That Neptune is that dreamy, intuitive, kind of new beginning type of vibe to it. With that Pisces energy, again, that unworldly, sensitive, intuitive, imaginative type of energy. And remember, like all this stuff is about, like this is allegories of all your ancient texts, what I'm saying? We talk about Persephone going into the underworld, like she's, that's basically a personification of wintertime, what I'm saying? Like, or should I say Demeter, going to find Persephone, and Persephone got taken into the underworld by Hades, and Hades gave her a pomegranate, to eat. And no coincidence that pomegranate, you know, the word pomegranate is also where you get the word or the name for garnet, the crystal garnet. And the crystal garnet, you know, has that strong connection with the root chakra, or that underworld, you know, in essence, you know. So you see all those little correlations. I got a video that I speak on Hecate and Demeter as well. You probably just look up the names and it should pop up. But, blessings, y'all. Yeah, you probably have to rewatch the video. You know, because again, I can only shoot from where, you know, from where I'm at. You know, of course, articulating ourselves to the best of our abilities as far as making, you know. But trust me, you'll be able to pick up on everything. All right, positive vibes, positive energy. What's up, bro? But yeah, so again, for the next 7 years, we're gonna be dealing with a sporadic, you know, matter of fact, and not just sporadic and sudden change vibe, but also, you know, like, well, matter of fact, again, sporadic, sudden change, excitement, that breaking rules vibe with that Uranus energy up in Taurus. So like we're gonna have that Uranus vibe, you know, that freedom-loving, individualistic, you know, craving excitement, you know, activity, electrified, speed up, non-conventional type of vibe in the area of, you know, dealing with our appreciation related to our appreciation for physical sensations, you know, and our whole little connection to the physical realm, you know, again with our values, our you know, relationships on an affection level, you know, also with the negative aspects of Venus, you know, self-indulgence, greed, emotional demands, you know, those whole little vibes. Also, again, being connected with that Uranus energy, or Uranus. But that Uranus energy, you know, creating that little sporadic, you know, change and upheavals in that area. And there's gonna be and again, there's nothing bad or good about any of these aspects, you know, because people hear retrogrades, it's like, oh, something bad is happening. Nah, like a planet is basically, a retrograde is from our perspective on this plane from Earth, it seems like a planet has stopped or started moving backwards, you know, and basically what it's doing is having us reflect within the energy of that planet, you know. So if Pluto is in retrograde, we're reflecting on you know, extreme transformation, you know, growth on a transformative level into some level on the extreme level, you know. So that's why the Scorpio energy has that extreme energy as well, you know. But, transformation, transmutation, and elimination. You know, Pluto deals with the rebirth energy, you know, so rebirthing and dealing with those energies from a Capricorn perspective is what we're dealing with right now, you know. So again, transformation and transmutation in an area that's dealing with, you know, being ambitious and being reserved and hardworking and disciplined and tactful, you know, being grounded, you know, and then you know, that Saturn energy deals with structure, responsibility, you know, and karma, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, again, right now, we're dealing with a lot of, you know, past life karmas, you know, is being triggered. So another thing, too, again, to remember that as we're dealing with each other in these next few days moving forward, you know, again, to always remember that there's a lot of triggering going on, and that nobody is trying to fuck with you purposely, in essence, you know. Like, it's just the universe poking in at all of us, you know what I'm saying? And there's certain karmic issues or energies from past lives that we still have not brought up to the forefront, so it's being provoked, you know, right now, you know what I'm saying, for us to deal with it. Oh, matter of fact, before I don't even get to drink my tea properly, gotta steep my fennel. Hey, but you know, so again, yeah, that 7 years, you know, Uranus is gonna be transiting through Taurus. And again, as a matter of fact, remember Taurus field. You know, when we think about Taurus energy, think about the Taurus field. You know, and a little Taurus field, a little bubble that, you know, that surrounds our physical body, in essence. You know, and I got videos on the Taurus field. You can go check that out. And again, Taurus ruled by Venus. Matter of fact, no coincidence, go check out my video about Venus, Friday, and Easter, you know, because Easter is Ishtar, and around Easter you have Good Friday, and Ishtar is connected to Urzuli Freya, or Freya from the Norse mythology, or Freda, or Frigg, you know, from Norse mythology. But I got a video about that. You could go check out that as well to get in depth on that. But, you know, again, that's basically what we're dealing with. So again, just recapping, you know, finding out your north and south node, you know what I'm saying, like, go look up a natal chart calculator, you know what I'm saying, just gravitate to whatever one intuitively you feel is going to give you accurate information, you know, find out your north and south nodes. Remember, your south node, whatever your south node is telling you the energies that you have been comfortable with, not only in this lifetime, but more so, you know, from all your lifetimes into this one, because you've been constantly dealing with that energy. So that's why, again, like sucking your thumb, you know, it's like a comfort zone. Like, I'm used to this, I could vibe, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, in order to transform, in order to grow and expand, you got to actually do that. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. How is a couch potato growing and expanding? By spending every day watching the same channels on TV every day. You know what I'm saying? They not. And it shows. It shows in it. Matter of fact, I mean, just look, I look at within my own realm of reality where I'm constantly growing, but like the smallest aspects of me not doing certain things is showing within my realm. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just really becoming, you know, evident to deal with the energy. But again, south node, north node energies. Again, and the south node, north node dealing with the connection to the moon. You know what I'm saying? And reason why that's also so important, again, like the moon is connected to our emotions within these earth, you know, all these different incarnations that we had within this realm, you know, that triggered a lot of emotions. And a lot of those emotions that we allowed to overwhelm us and let it make our heart heavier than a feather, hence the reason why we kept coming back to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you let this emotion run too strong, so it's like, all right, damn, I let this emotion, this Libra energy fucking worrying about people fuck around and had me reincarnate again. So in this next lifetime, I'm gonna focus more on this Aries energy so I could fucking pull myself from out of this fucking loop. You know what I'm saying? And experience a different energy and do something different that's gonna, you know, expand, you know what I'm saying, and create, you know, because literally by doing something different, that's a whole different, you're creating almost a whole different realm, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, it feels so, you know, overwhelming to some extent. Like, you know, like say for the first time we drove a car, the first time we went to high school, the first time we went to junior high, the first time we went to school in general, all these different vibes, you know, kind of had those flutters to it because, you know, it's that new experience, you know, it causes expansion, no matter if it's looked at as good or bad, you know, because as much as the school system is an indoctrination system, whatever, it is still a, you know, experience that allow for you to expand and learn from it, you know what I'm saying? But it's through, you know, again, growth and expansion is not through doing the same thing over and over, you know, it's doing different things. So remember, again, that north node, south node vibe. check out that. You know, it's very, very important right now. And again, this Uranus in Taurus energy for the next 7 years. You know, to be aware of that. You know, you got Pluto retrograding in Capricorn right now. And I think it comes out of retrograde in October, but don't quote me. But then also coming into 2020 and 2021, Pluto is going to start to move into Aquarius. And really, you know, that deep transformation, you know, and change is going to be in connection with the Aquarius. And see, right now, we're dealing with that deep transformation and change from the Capricorn perspective right now, because we're structuring the situation up. So as we're laying this foundation and structure of transformation due to Pluto being in Capricorn, then when it goes into Aquarius, we're going to have this transformation and change take a eccentric, you know, and you know, not Aquarius, not necessarily ungrounded, but just more eccentric, more of a, you know, that Uranus unpredictable, you know, game-changing, exciting vibe, you know. And again, and also remembering Saturn retrograde, and you know, in Capricorn as well. So again, just a lot of deep karmic energies flowing to the top. You know, when you cooking something, you know, or like with anything, like, you know, the reason why you get a pimple, you know, and that pimple look ugly, you know, like, oh, well, let's not judge, you know, that pimple, you know, let's just say the pimple may feel like it may look unattractive or whatever. We ain't gonna get down on it like that. But you know, that pimple has to show in order for that pus to come out. You know what I'm saying? In order for that nastiness to come out, it has to come out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, we dealing with each other right now. We triggering all kind of shit. And again, it's going to be situations where, like, say, for instance, I've been left that vibe of, like, say, for instance, stealing or feeling like I got to steal something or take something. You know, like, I in no way, form, or fashion, I'm walking around looking to do that. But again, because we deal with karmic energies and showing things, like, it may be a situation to provoke me to look at that part of myself. Like, well, it might be a situation that trigger me to look at something like, bro, you know, I wonder if I should grab that or not, this and that. And then you might feel like, oh, man, hold on, I'm going backwards. It's like, nah, you're not going backwards or anything. The universe is, you know, your higher self is just bringing that energy, you know, bubbling to the top and just showing you, like, hey, this shit's still, you know, lurking in the cracks or whatever. Not saying that a botheration or nothing per se, you know, like that, but, you know, just to be aware that this energy is still floating around and needs to come up and out. You know, it come up and out. You know, so we're gonna see all these ugly aspects. Me with my indecisiveness, like, I just dealt with a situation recently, you know, where my indecisiveness caused a little, you know, I ain't say a little situation like that, but in essence, you know, it's like basically like my indecisiveness, you know, is becoming more and more detrimental, you know, to my experience, you know, due to letting it, you know, linger and but more so too, not that I haven't been working on it, but again, it's karmic energy. It's like showing you, like, hey, just to give you a peep of, like, if you know, if you don't work on this, you know, this how is just gonna get worse. So be aware of these energies, you know. So that aspect as well. But, you know, that's basically it. I said the, you know, the North Node, South Node, the Uranus and Taurus for the next 7 years energy. Got the again, Pluto and Saturn retrograding right now. So, you know, that's basically it, you know. Dealing with a lot of Taurus energy. Matter of fact, speaking on the Taurus energy from the tarot, you know, in the tarot cards, the Taurus energy is the Hierophant card, you know. And matter of fact, which I might do a tarot reading on it, not in this one, but probably in another video. But the Taurus deals with the letter Vav, you know. As a matter of fact, Vav, you know, the Hebrew letter Vav. You can see it. Vav, and you think about the tetragrammaton, the 4-letter word, you know, Yah, Hey, Vad, Hey. But Yah, Hey, Vav, Hey, you know, that Vav, is part of that name. But the Taurus, again, the tarot card deals with that Hebrew letter, and that Hebrew letter deals with a nail or a hook or joining together or making fast. And the Taurus energy does deal with Venus energy, and that deals with relationships, and sensuality, and the five senses, sensuality, five senses. You know what I'm saying? That whole little connection. And the tarot card, again, that deals with Taurus. The Hierophant card deals with moving from Chakma to Chesed, or from wisdom to mercy on the tree of life. I can't see if y'all could see it, but let's see, where's Chakma? Chakma is on this side. Chakma to Chesed, Chakma to Chesed. And I don't know, it could be Hesed. I know my pronunciations are a little off with some of this, so excuse me. But with that, again, with that transit, it's going from wisdom to mercy, you know what I'm saying? And going from the archetypical world to the creative world, or from the spirit plane of will, meaning that willpower of spirit, to that emotional plane, you know what I'm saying? And that's, just kind of basically more telling a story of that Taurus Venus energy, you know what I'm saying? Being grounded, earthy, connected, dealing with relationships, because the Taurus energy is kind of like close to that second house energy. The second house dealing with, cooperation and dealing with others on that type of vibe, So you also have that aspect as well. But that's basically it. Mercury is gonna be, I think, in Aries at the time. I want to say at the time of the new moon, Mercury in Aries and Venus in Aries. So with the Mercury energy, we're dealing with strategy, magic, communication, also kind of like the thoughts. Matter of fact, Mercury connected with the magician, divination, magic, again, writing, So like we dealing with those energies from a head first, spontaneous, what do I feel about it perspective, that Aries energy connected with Mercury, and also with the Venus energy connected with Mercury. So love, beauty, attraction, harmony, relationships and connections and unity from the perspective of you, you know what I'm saying, from that Aries perspective, so it's that Venus energy from that Aries perspective. It's that Mercury energy from that Aries perspective. And once you start learning about the planets and their energies and the zodiac signs and their energies, it becomes like doing a little math equation. Like you'll know, like, all right, if Mars is in Virgo, then I have a strong, how can I say, a willpower, strongly in the energy to be analytical and discerning, and being meticulous and diligent. That Mars energy is going to have me more aggressive with that Virgo energy, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, again, almost like math equations. But again, that north node, south node, though, is like what I did this video for, and what's important to check out and deal with. So look at your natal chart and find out about that north node and south node energy. And if I do post this to my YouTube, disclaimer that, yeah, I haven't done any previous videos on the north node and south node, so this will kind of, serve as the first one. It won't be the last one, definitely. But that's basically it. Just want to share that vibe with y'all. Peace and blessings, everybody. Jedi the Star Seed, Kirkland Kai, Tiller 96, P.S. Kelly, It Heard, Steven Steezes, Mushiel, One Piece Keeper, Dyed Eyes, Royal Love Essence, Star Boy. Blessings, everybody. Hopeless Human. Oh, Shane, I see you. What's up, Mr. Shane? Passing through. But spirit so pure, blessings. Raider motivator, blessings. Yeah, man, it's time, bro. Things are transforming right now, but in order to transform, in order to plant a new garden, you gotta pull the old weeds out, you know. So right now we just dealing with a lot of situations that's triggering us and doing certain things to, have us pull these old weeds out. One thing period, Because again, how could I plant a new garden if my ex relationships with people and old shit that I haven't got over in my childhood is still in the way of me making my new garden? Then yeah, I could try to build over that, but then I won't. In the long run, I won't love it, I won't love my garden. And I said not love it, but in essence, if I got all kind of junk in it, it's like you're gonna think about like a garden with all kind of weeds and stuff. It's like, why even take care of it? It's all fucked up because it got weeds growing everywhere and this and that. You get discouraged and and depressed. As above, so below, as within, so without. The same thing with not, taking care of certain heavy karmic energies. Again, at the end game is having your heart or your soul in general weigh as light as a feather when you transition. Meaning that, say for instance, if I have a seed right now, and as soon as that seed comes into this realm, it transition. Like I gotta be in my God space to know, like, hey, I lost a baby. Of course we have a human aspect of ourselves that's gonna, have some type of energy towards that. But at the end of the day, we move into a place of not getting lost in that sauce anymore. Of like, well, it should be a celebration when somebody transition, knowing that, hey, that wasn't necessarily a little baby as much as that was a soul in a new bodysuit, and the bodysuit was a baby. You know what I'm saying? But that was soul that was like basically was on some double dutch vibe, like when somebody doing a rope on a double dutch and the people waiting on the side ready to jump in, that soul jumped in, jumped a few times and then jumped out. You know what I'm saying? That was the game for that. You know what I'm saying? For that soul. You know what I'm saying? And it's not for us to be like, oh my goodness, because that's creating heavy energy, and that heavy energy is when you transition, like, oh my child, this and that. That energy, when you transition, you're gonna judge yourself, and you're gonna be like, bro, I didn't, my child transitioned before this or this happened, so I just, and all that heavy ass shit gonna bring you back in this motherfucker. And this experience is neither good or bad. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, But for some of us, we understand that, it's like a damn, it's like being damned or being in hell to constantly be in the same cycle of one realm, to be living out the same, and just look at it within within the microcosm of our day. Well, if you constantly do the same shit, your realm start to feel like hell. Cause like, bro, I feel like I'm just pressing and repeat. Like, like I'm just living the same fucking thing every day, and that feels like a fucking hell for some of us. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's what to each his own on your growth and where you at with it. Some people might feel like repeating this realm over and over is heaven. That is a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Again, on the expansion level, on a growth level, yeah, it's about us not being stagnant. It's about us constantly growing and expanding. But there is a possibility for some people to love not expanding, and they'll deal with that energy until they get to a place of like, well, you know what, now I really want to expand from this earthly plane or from whatever little realm that I'm keeping myself in a loop in. It's like I'm ready to transition out of that and incarnate into a different life instead of reincarnate back into, some shit due to, my heart being heavy and all this other shit. That's the end game. The end game is that, somebody wants you to be like, oh man, Donald Trump building a wall. Like somebody literally somebody needs your attention. Like a lifeless being that doesn't have chi energy to create on a high level needs a Pokemon, it needs a fairy, it needs a genie to manifest certain things. It needs certain energies that have strong neuromelanin and strong pineal gland power, pineal organ power, I should say, to manifest things. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they program the subconscious, or at least try to. Because once you got the genie mind, and the genie manifesting all this shit for you.